The following content is excerpted from the book A Journey to the West, written by Khenpo Sodargye. 30 years ago, in 1993, His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche traveled to Europe and North America to share the Dharma with people in the West. During this trip, His Holiness bestowed upon the Western audience, completely and without reservation, empowerments of all his most renowned termas, and also imparted pointing out instructions on the most profound Dzogchen teachings. Such concise but profound and complete instructions were difficult to obtain even within the Tibetan monastic community. The exceptional wisdom and preeminent realization of His Holiness deeply impressed and influenced a large number of Europeans and Americans. This year coincides with the 30th anniversary of His Holiness' visit and the 20th anniversary of his parinirvana. Considering such a special occasion, Khenpo Sodargye, as a close disciple who accompanied Rinpoche on the trip, compiled His Holiness' teachings together with his own recollections into this new book, A Journey to the West. May whoever read it be connected with His Holiness, experience his extraordinary blessing, realize their own primordial wisdom, and achieve the same state of realization as His Holiness. The extraordinary quality of Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma. On the morning of July 5th, Yidjin Norbu conferred the empowerment of Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma. Before bestowing the empowerment, he introduced the origin and the extraordinary quality of this terma. While you are receiving today's teaching, please generate the mind of bodhicitta. Contemplate that in order to benefit all sentient beings equal to limitless space, you will receive the empowerment that ripens your mind with the intention to carry out its stages of practice that lead you to liberation. The terma of Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma that you are going to receive was revealed by me at the Asura Cave at Yanglesho in Nepal, when I and 7 disciples were on our way to India in 1990. This terma was entrusted to King Jinamitra of Nepal by the second Buddha, Orgyen Guru Padmasambhava, before transmitting any teaching in Tibet. Guru Padmasambhava decided to travel to Tibet in order to help the Buddhadharma flourish in Tibet, which was considered a dark land at the time, meaning lacking dharma. On his way to Tibet, Guru Rinpoche stayed and practiced in the Nepalese Asura Cave for some time, and during that time, King Jinamitra helped him dispel the obstacles to his body and created many favorable conditions for his dharma practice. With great joy, Guru Rinpoche solemnly entrusted this terma to the king. As it is said in the Leudumma, the prayer in 7 chapters to Padmakara, the second Buddha, in the rock cave of Yanglesho in Nepal, you liberated all obstacles and obstructors through Vajrakilaya. The Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma is the leading practice for dispelling all obstacles created by demonic influences. It is the ultimate essence of the whole supreme knowledge Tantra B, and, like a mother, is the origin of the 64 common and 32 extraordinary Vajrakilaya cycles in Tibet. Relying upon it, all Tibetan local spirits, such as the 12 Tenma sisters, were subdued and bound under oath to protect the Dharma. I revealed this terma by recalling a former life. This terma is titled Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma because Guru Rinpoche wore it in a small pouch bound around his neck since it was such a profound and pithy practice. Once revealing the terma, as the root text of the cycle says, there will appear wonderful, auspicious circumstances that will bring great significance. The circumstances when this terma was offered to its root holder are as follows. Gyalwa Rinpoche wrote the lineage prayer for the Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma, and the colophon at the end reads, I, Tenzin Gyatso, a bhikshu follower of Shakyamuni who has a connection through karma and aspirations, wrote this. Hence, we can see that Gyalwa Rinpoche is the root holder of this terma cycle. I had been practicing this terma since I revealed it, and before giving its transmission to anyone else, I went to Gyalwa Rinpoche's residence and offered it to him. He attached great importance to this terma and treasured it as a wish-fulfilling jewel. He seriously and sincerely requested me to give the whole transmission to him immediately. So on the very day I arrived, I offered him the complete practice, including its empowerment and practical instructions. The circumstances when this terma was entrusted to the Dharma protector Nechung Dorje Drakten are that Nechung Dorje Drakten served as the messenger for His Holiness, the 13th Gyalwa Rinpoche Thubten Gyatso and Turten Sogyal, and he passed on prophecies related to both of them. He also requested many teachings from Turten Sogyal. It was dependent on these auspicious conditions that this terma was revealed. When I was conferring the empowerment of Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma, Nechung Dorje Drakten suddenly descended in a wrathful form and received the empowerment and instructions. In addition, at the request of Gyalwa Rinpoche and Nechung Dorje Drakten, the prayer for subjugating activity related with this terma cycle arose from the expanse of my awareness. Regarding the fire offering in this terma cycle, this too arose spontaneously from my awareness expanse while I was with Gyalwa Rinpoche, and he humbly wrote down the words. Then, following Turten Sogyal's tradition, this terma was also offered to the chief lineage holders in Sakya, Kagyu, and Nyingma lineages. As for the Nyingma tradition, since all the previous reincarnations of the Mahasiddha Kyabje Penor Rinpoche were the main holders of Nyingma lineage, I offered the empowerment of this terma, together with its complete instructions, to the present Penor Rinpoche. In the Sakya tradition, there were two primary lineage holders from whom Turten Sogyal never kept any secret, Gyalwa Thubten Gyatso and Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo, and I offered the empowerment, instructions, and oral transmission to the reincarnation of Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo, namely Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche. In terms of the Kagyu tradition, the chief holder in the time of Turton Lerab Lingpa was the 15th Karmapa Kakyab Dorje. Unfortunately, his reincarnation, the 16th Karmapa Rangjung Rik Dorje, had passed into parinirvana before I was able to offer him this terma, but I believe it will be offered to his reincarnation in the near future, no matter where he may be. This terma is endowed with perfectly auspicious signs that have never been tainted, irrespective of outer, inner, or secret aspects. There should be no doubt that anyone who practices this will obtain success and auspiciousness and be able to fully dispel all obstacles and negativities. This is indeed a sublime, profound, and unsurpassable practice that has never appeared before. I won't say more about the extraordinary qualities of this terma. One simple fact is that ever since it was revealed, the circumstances in the snowland of Tibet have greatly changed. The well-being of Tibetans improved, and the Buddhadharma has been flourishing. Not only for Tibetans, whoever encounters it will have full success, inner peace, sublime bliss, and auspiciousness, and everything will go smoothly according to their will. This is another undeniable fact, especially for those great lineage holders who have received this teaching. Their enlightened activities will increasingly flourish and prosper like the waxing moon. From this point alone, we can conclude that this terma will bring great benefit and auspiciousness to all sentient beings. I have briefly introduced the origin and extraordinary qualities of the Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma, and now I am going to confer the empowerment. Brief meditation guidance on Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma. After finishing the teaching on placing Buddhahood within reach, at the request of the audience, Choje transmitted the pith instructions for visualizing Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma. According to your request, I will provide you with the concise method of how to develop the generation stage of the Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma practice. Since the copies of the English version of this practice have been made available to you, I will just explain to you the essential points. The first part is the lineage prayer entitled Lineage Prayer that swiftly engages the blessings written by Gyalwa Rinpoche. You need to supplicate the lineage gurus successively, one by one, from the Dharmakaya Samantabhadra, the Sambhogakaya Vajradharma, the Nirmanakaya Padmasambhava, to Nanam Dorje Dujom, the indestructible subduer of Mara. From Rigzin Godam, the Vidyadhara vulture feathers, to Pema Wangchen, this is a supplication to all my previous reincarnations until the present. After that, there is a supplication to the wrathful Vajrakumara and the hosts of deities in his mandala. You pray to these noble beings in order to dispel all outer and inner obstacles. That is, you pray for their blessings so that all outer obstacles created by the Mara of sickness, obstructive spirits, ferocious ghosts, and all other harmful forces can be averted, and that all inner obstacles of the negative conceptual thoughts that prevent practicing the clear light, great perfection, can be pacified. Eventually, through their blessings, you supplicate to attain the direct realization of the meaning of the generation stage, the completion stage, and the great perfection. Next, you take refuge, generate bodhicitta, and make samaya vows. You take refuge in Vajrakumara, the deity who is the manifestation of your own awareness as absolute wisdom. To liberate all sentient beings from the ocean of suffering, you generate bodhicitta. You embrace the samaya vows with a commitment to keep the samaya of all wrathful deities in terms of knowing what to accept and what to reject. Then, the actual generation stage begins. First, you need to arouse the view that all phenomena are empty and then abide in that view. Next, out of the state of emptiness, visualize that in an instant you appear as the great glorious Vajrakumara, King of Wrath. How do you visualize the glorious Vajrakumara? He is dark blue in color with one face and two arms, and his palms are pressed together, rolling a furba. He is adorned with 10 heruka accoutrements and 8 ornaments of the charnel ground. More specifically, he wears a human skin, a tiger skin, and an elephant hide, and is ornamented with a mala of dried human skulls, a garland of slightly moist human skulls, and a necklace of freshly severed human heads. Visualize Vajrakumara in this terrifying form. He stands atop male and female Rudras on the middle of lotus, sun, and moon discs, with his 2 legs spread wide apart in a striding posture. He is radiant within an expanse of blazing wisdom fire. You need to clearly visualize yourselves to appear in this way. While reciting the mantra, maintain the view that all appearances are the deity, all sounds are the mantra, and all conceptual thoughts are the play of wisdom. Remain in such a state and recite the mantra. When concluding the meditation session, you dedicate the merit by reflecting, "May the virtue accumulated in this practice, together with all my virtue, become the cause to actualize the fruition of the wrathful Vajrakumara." Then, recite the verse of auspiciousness and contemplate, "By the power of the merit generated from my diligent practice of these profound generation and completion stages, may all inauspiciousness and disasters throughout the 10 directions be constantly pacified, and may the brilliance of virtue and goodness shine throughout the 3 realms." The guidance manual for the Vajrakilaya Gurkhukma practice has now been clearly explained for you.